What's up?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And so right off the back, we're going to go ahead and just jump into the makeup. I'm going in with my Ulta Beauty Full Coverage Concealer in the shade Tan Neutral, just to basically prime my eyes before putting on any eyeshadow for an even base like always. And I am using a mini e.l.f. sponge to blend out that concealer. And next, of course, we're setting that concealer with the Airspun Loose Face Powder in the shade Naturally Neutral. And I'm just using that same e.l.f. sponge to pack that on. And right here, I'm just dusting off that Airspun powder off the eyes real quick. Just using a random kabuki brush. I think that's the one from Shop Miss A from my second haul, I believe. And now for the star of the video, I'm using the Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless Utopia palette. Got it from Ulta. We're going to be using this shade Nirvana as our transition shade. And I'm just applying that shade with an Alamar Cosmetics blending brush. Now, after putting on that transition shade, moving on to cutting the crease, of course, we're going to be going in with the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. We're going to be taking the shade Promise and putting that in the inner corner of the concealer. By the way, this is the first shade out of 3 shades that we're going to be using on the lid. So yeah, just to put that out there so that way y'all wouldn't go too crazy, and keep that shade like in that certain spot so that way you could have room for the rest of the shades. Now we're going to take the shade Bohemian, and that's going to be the second shade right next to that first shade Promise. And like I said, you want to keep it in that certain spot so that way we can move on to the next shade. And then just keep blending it out so that way it can look flawless. For the third shade, we're going to take Urbanism. Put that right next to Bohemian. I hope I said that right. Then while packing on that shade, you just want to blend that shade in with the second one. And also at the end of that concealer, that connects with the transition shade as well. Now right here, I'm just going in with the other two shades, well actually all of the shades, to go ahead and blend out all of them. So that way it can look beautiful and well blended. And here, as you can see, I'm taking Nirvana, which is that transition blue shade, and Urbanism, which is that purple shade, that third shade that we used on the lid. I'm taking both of those shades and blending it out right there at the end of where that concealer ended. I don't know exactly like what you call that, to be honest. I'm like so awkward with that. But yeah, you get my point. You see what I'm doing. And now here goes little old me thinking I look cute as hell with no lashes, no eyeliner, eyeshadow all over my cheeks, no foundation. You know, just let me live, okay? Thanks. And now I obviously have eyelashes on. And now we're going in with the e.l.f. Soothing Primer. And now I'm using one of my favorite foundations. It's the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation in the shade F12. I got this from Ulta. It's only like $12. It's so bomb. I love this foundation. This will always be my go-to, with of course the Maybelline Fit Me one. And like the rest of my videos, with all the products that I use and everything, of course, we can't forget the e.l.f. sponge. Blending out this foundation, one of my favorites, like always. And now, for a different product, I'm using the NYX Wonder Stick, and this is the contour stick. I'm only using the dark shade. And I'm applying that everywhere where I usually apply it. Now for concealer, I'm just using that same concealer we used before to prime the lids, which is the Ulta Beauty Full Coverage Concealer in the shade Tan Neutral. And with that being said, I'm using the e.l.f. concealer sponge to blend out that concealer. And here I go again thinking I look super freaking cute, but hey, at least this time I have eyelashes and foundation on. But moving on, we're using the Airspun loose face powder in the shade Naturally Neutral to set that concealer, using the same e.l.f. sponge, but I'm just using the other side of it. Now to set the rest of my face, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Pressed Powder in the shade 310, which is Sun Beige. And while I'm doing that, I'm already wiping off the Airspun loose powder that was setting the concealer. And now to set that bronzer, I'm using the Wet n Wild contouring palette in the shade Caramel Toffee. Don't come for me how I say caramel, that's just how I say it. I know I say it wrong, supposedly, but that's just how I say it. And we're only using the contour shade, the bronzer shade. We're not going to be using the light shade. And now to clean up that bronzer, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Loose Finishing Powder in the shade 30, which is medium deep. And I'm applying that with the Real Technique sponge, like always. Now I'm just going back in with that Nirvana shade, that transition shade that we used, and I'm applying that on my lower lash line using an e.l.f. crease brush. And now I'm using the Essence Lash Princess Volume Mascara. And I'm just applying that mascara on the bottom lashes. And now for blush, I'm applying the Wet n Wild color icon in the shade Mellow Wine using a Luxie 516 Duo Fiber Powder brush. And for highlighter, I'm using the e.l.f. highlighter in the shade 24K Gold. This highlighter is so pretty, you guys. I don't know if I've used it before on one of my previous videos, but it is really pretty. And I am applying my highlighter with the AOA Studio F19 brush. Once again, it's in my previous haul videos. If you haven't seen it yet, you should really go check it out. I love Shop Miss A, period. Also, I am applying the same highlighter in my inner corner using a pencil brush. And also on my brow bone. I usually don't do this only because, I don't know, I'm not into, a highlighted brow bone. But since this is a matte look, I was really into it this time. And finally, for the last product of the video, I'm using the Ofra Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Verona. And this is the final look, guys. I hope y'all really enjoyed it. I mean, I love it because, personally my favorite color is purple, but besides the fact. Anyways, this palette was super easy to use. I love it so much. And once again, I got this palette from Ulta, and it's the Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless Utopia palette. And yeah, I feel like this look was super easy. I mean, it looks like it took forever to achieve, but to me, it was super easy. I love it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please, and check out my next video, guys. Bye!